Well, hello, my lovely Virgos. This is Lady Scarlet, and I'm going to do your reading tonight. So, got a couple of things happening in planetary alignment that should make for an interesting read with Jupiter in Pisces, and we have Aquarius or Pluto in Aquarius. So, um, we'll see what happens with that, but I want to do my little disclaimer. I've talked about that I am a therapist, and so if I see mental health related stuff in the read, I might give you some kind of common sense of advice based on my education and experience, but in no way does this replace going to see a therapist. So if that is something that, if I point out something, I would suggest having your own therapist to talk through some of those bigger challenges with. While I can give you some advice, I cannot replace therapy, even though I'm a therapist. And I just want to make sure that people understand that, because there are complex issues that you may be experiencing, and I don't know you individually, right? I don't know your specific things that you are facing in your life. And of course, I'm going to, say go to I'm a therapist, so I believe in therapy. Let me get one more card for Virgo here, please, for the base reading. Thank you, spirit guides, ancestors, and angels. Let's get, there we go. For your base reading, the card at the bottom is the Sun card. So, and Judgment. Ooh, some of you have really, some of you have ended something, let's just say. Very well could be a Leo with the Sun and King of Wands showing up there. Or somebody that was just wishy-washy. Or it could be that some of you have stepped into some personal power, and I see all of those things. I see some magical Virgos out there for sure. Making some decisions, completing a karmic cycle right at the bottom of the deck. Bottom of the deck has been reading really well for a lot of readers in the last couple of months. Just those reads have been really, really strong. So in your base read here, we have a Knight of Pentacles in your recent, past, or current. In your home environment, you have a Queen of Pentacles, which is an earth sign card, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Eight of Swords in the near future position. Three of Wands in your connector from current or recent, past to near future. Nine of Pentacles in your near future connecting to outcome, and a Knight of Swords in the outcome. So lots of movement happening for sure. So let's do some clarification. Now the base read is my Mystic Tarot deck. I know there's a little bit of a glare on some of them, and so this Eight of Swords, that's the card that is in your near future position, so you can see it. I know the glare is right on top of that. So let's get some clarifiers in here. Now, Knight of Pentacles in your, recent, past, or current situation over here. That's a slow moving card, like you've been slowly changing something, but it looks like it's really speeding up with that Knight of Swords in the outcome position. So let's clarify this Knight of Pentacles and see why that card is there. Also, just a quick thing about gender in tarot reads. I might say a masculine or a feminine energy, like using king or queen, for example, or knight or page. You need to flip those roles, because we all have masculine and feminine energy, and there's a spectrum all the way in between. For instance, I have a lot of masculine in my chart, 7 versus 3 feminine, and I have a lot of fire in my chart, but I'm a Taurus sun. So if this read doesn't resonate for you as a Virgo sun or rising, you might look at some of the other reads to see if they speak to you in a different way, right? They might resonate with you differently. But gender is a spectrum in tarot, and so you have to kind of flip those roles. Also, I might be picking up on energies around you, so you know your individual story. I do not. So think about how that might fit in your life. Don't make it fit. It either resonates with you or it doesn't, okay? but you might look at some other readings. You know, I have a Sagittarius rising and moon, and so sometimes Sagittarius reads read for me better than the Taurus reads, right? So the first card on Knight of Pentacles is the Devil card, which is a Capricorn card. So some of you may have been dealing with a Capricorn or another earth sign. Also, the Devil is about breaking bonds, like breaking bondage, breaking negative attachments. So some of you might be doing things like quitting smoking or drinking or something like that, right? You also could be setting different boundaries with people as well. Let's get another couple of clarifiers on that. Why is that Devil here? So we have Page of Pentacles. You see, you have the Knight and the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is kind of like the Apprentice card. So you all have been studying, like, how to change some habit or change something in your life. The Emperor, now that's an Aries card. So some of you definitely stepping into, like, Divine Masculine. Kind of balancing out, it seems like, right? We've had a lot of Divine Feminine in the last month, and now we have people kind of stepping into that Divine Masculine, especially while we're in the sign of Aries, right? The Aries is the, Aries is the Emperor. There's the Empress. So some of you, wow, some of you have slowly been moving towards a divine pair here with the Emperor and the Empress. Yeah. It's definitely a divine connection. Could be a fire sign, could be an Aries for some of you. Seven of Swords, there's a lot of hidden truths. And Eight of Pentacles, you've been studying and figuring out things that were hidden to you. Some of you, these were things hidden that were inside of you that have come to, come out, like maybe divine gifts, or perhaps you were with someone for a long time and you found out some new things about them. But also, this is about leaving behind and learning the skills to let go of negative attachments, right? Seven of Swords is oftentimes, like, I think of quiet quitting. Like, you're like, I don't want the conflict, so I'm just gonna slowly back away from this situation. For some of you with the Emperor and Empress there, you very well could be dealing with the twin flame issue. And so, and if you know anything about twin flame, they attract and repel. You have the Justice card at the bottom and Hierophant. So some of you definitely have been changing some things and balancing your scales. Wouldn't surprise me if we get a Tower somewhere in here, because it looks like some of you have been in a Tower moment. Let's clarify your home environment with the Queen of Pentacles. So you may have been doing some spring cleaning or sprucing up your place. I'm getting that. Ace of Cups, definitely learning to love yourself in a different way and do some different kinds of self-care. So maybe stepping into divine powers, but also, I'm seeing like people go into the gym, doing some yoga, getting out, taking walks outside, getting some fresh air, just loving on yourself. And look, a second ace. That's pretty divine right there. Ace of Wands. I just see personal power there. I just see you stepping into learning about yourself and what is good for you. Leaving behind negative attachments, right? At the bottom of the deck, another Aries card, you have the Fool. So taking a leap of faith for some of you, taking some risks, getting out of your comfort zone. Definitely see that. Let's get another card in that home environment position to clarify those two aces. Two aces together, too, can be about, sometimes it can mean collusion, which is, two things coming together that are, not necessarily complementary. It's also about opposites attract, right? So that fell sideways. So yeah, two of Swords, you had two paths to take. You had two paths to take and you had to choose. And for a lot of you, you chose yourself over a situation that was causing you a lot of stress. A negative attachment, if you will. Set boundaries that previously hadn't been respected. Let's look at this Three of Wands, which is very well like, your ship coming in. But also, look how this person's looking off into the distance. You're looking towards your future and really how you want your life to look. This is what I want for myself, and this is how I have to get it, right? It is kind of, I see a leap of faith in this card. Changing patterns, recognizing your own patterns of behavior, and how to move beyond that and learn from that, right? For some of you, it's like going off into the great wild unknown, kind of, in a way. It's not just about ship coming in. Like, it's like you know yourself better now after a certain situation has come to a close. Let's get a couple of clarifiers for this Three of Wands. The Three of Wands connects your... Ooh, that was a lot of cards. The Three of Wands connects your current situation or recent past kind of to your near future and outcome. Cards kind of move in this way. So Five of Cups. So, you know, you had some disappointment and, but you didn't lose hope, I don't think. Like you hope for better, which is why you're kind of getting out of your comfort zone. I see this as you realizing that some of that disappointment was in yourself and in some decisions that you made, like I should have done this differently, but you don't want to live there, right? So you're changing some things. Definitely changing some things. The Magician is at the bottom of the deck, and the Death card. So you're changing things. You had a transformation, stepping into learning your skills and abilities and your own power, right? You have the Nine of Pentacles under there too, which is funny because you have the Nine of Pentacles right here. So there's the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck underneath the Magician and Death. Things changed. This is about independence. Nine of Pentacles is about independence, right? So some of you are single now and you weren't. But some of you are just more independent, you know, whether you're in a relationship or not. You've just become more independent and self-sufficient. So let's clarify the Eight of Swords up here, which is about the blindfold coming off. It's about breaking free. You know, I'm seeing that kind of in the card. I don't know if you can see it. Up in the top is the moon kind of shining through. It's like, it's kind of like you're shining through after the blindfold is off and you're seeing things differently, right? Let's clarify this Eight of Swords for Virgo, please. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and Angels. We get some clarifiers for the Eight of Swords for Virgo. Oh, yeah. Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is about things move forward karmically in whichever way they're supposed to. If you have bad karma, you get bad karma. If you have good karma, you get good karma. Okay? But the Wheel of Fortune is a lot about karma fulfillment, karmic fulfillment, or your karmic blueprint. Also notice that infinity sign there. The wheel always turns, for good or ill, right? And with that Eight of Swords underneath there, it's like you have broken free from a lot of those negative attachments, and so you're just seeing things differently. It's like the light has been shown on some things for you. Knight of Pentacles. This, for some of you, it felt like a really slow movement. Now you have the Ten of Cups in reverse there, and so what you had anticipated happening with something did not happen, and so this is why you're getting to, because this goes next to this card, which connects to the outcome, and that is a Nine of Pentacles. So you're learning how to be self-sufficient and independent in a different way and have a different view of what is completion for you, right? And it's been slowly happening, or at least you're perceiving it as a very slow movement forward. And you're just learning a lot right now about yourself and how you function within the world. And so some of you are getting a lot of clarity right now, but you're also like, I just get the sense that you're like in the books, so to speak. You're learning a lot of different things. Maybe you're even getting promoted at work, some of you, with these pentacles showing up that way. And, you know, earth signs are pentacles. So you're studying and learning, and that's enriching you, right? So Nine of Pentacles, you've been kind of in a state of suspension, but I'm surprised that we didn't get the Hermit card here instead of the Hanged Man, because that's kind of the energy I'm getting off of this. Is you've been really digging into things that give you pleasure, like, for instance, reading, you know, some of your favorite authors, or watching some of your favorite movies. There's a nostalgia with this too, like, let me tap into that innocence I once had and that love of life in a lot of ways, and just kind of loving the independence that you're having. And some of you, if you haven't gotten that, you know, everybody's timeline is different. If you aren't there, I see you coming to that in the next 3 to 4 weeks, where you're just really learning and growing. But a lot of you are already there. And then Seven of Cups, you're dreaming big. That's what I see in this. I don't see you looking at options necessarily. I see you dreaming big about what's possible for you. That's what I see with that Seven of Cups. Let's get another card to clarify on that position, or that Nine of Pentacles with the Hanged Man and Seven of Cups. I just see you like pondering a lot of things, like there's so many, like it's a big wide world. What am I going to do, right? So we've got the world. It's a big wide world. What are you going to do, right? The world is also about completion of a cycle, right? And the Hierophant, which is a Taurus card, but it's also about kind of our values as well, our core values. And you're just, again, you're learning yourself. The Hierophant is another kind of study card. You know, you're studying things, you're learning things and growing. So let's clarify this Knight of Swords and the Outcome. At the bottom of the deck, you've got the Knight of Wands, and I just see movement. I just see movement with that card. Yeah, Three of Swords, which is a lot of times, you know, can mean a completion of a cycle. You're learning from what's hurt you, right? You have the Strength card right underneath that. You're learning from what has hurt you. That is always a big lesson, right? And we learn some lessons in pain and some in love. Either way, they are lessons that we need to learn to move forward. For those of you that are spiritually gifted, and somebody had asked in a comment, you know, how do I know what my spiritual gifts are? Some of us kind of know, or have an inclination to know, or we've had someone, you know, who is further along in their spiritual gifts kind of tell us, I see this in you. Sometimes you can get that from some readers are gifted at picking those spiritual gifts out. Prayer and meditation, things like that. You're really in that moment, Virgo. You're contemplating, what are my skills and abilities? And for those of you with spiritual gifts, you're learning what those are. So let's clarify this Knight of Swords and the Outcome, which is, you know, that's a fast moving card. It's one of the fastest moving. It's kind of like the Chariot in a lot of ways. It's a movement forward. It's action forward, right? Swords are a lot of times air signs, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of you very well could be cuspers, Virgo, Libra cuspers. And maybe you're more in that Libra mindset right now, possibly for some of you. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors. Can I get some clarifiers for this King of Swords, please? Oh, the Sun card. Yeah, that's definitely illumination. And then you have the Nine of Wands. You know, what did I say? So the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. This is also about protecting what's yours, right? Protecting your space. And you are an earth sign, so your space is very important to you. Seven of Wands, again, I just see defending yourself, defending your space, putting up good boundaries, good healthy boundaries, and learning from what's hurt you, right? Four of Wands, definitely completion of a cycle. That's the 1111 card. So a lot of you have completed a karmic cycle and learned some karmic lesson, and you are changing things for yourself to have a better version of yourself. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Knight of Cups. So I do see some of you meeting someone, but Ten of Swords indicates that, you know, a lot of you have ended something. Ten of Swords is like the end, right? Maybe you left someone out in the cold, or you were left out in the cold by someone, but that cycle is done. Three of Cups underneath there. You're really celebrating yourself, and I think that's glorious. It's beautiful. So let's clarify this with my personal deck. If you're a reader, by the way, and you have not made yourself a personal deck, it reads quite differently than regular decks, and I suggest it. It's also kind of fun to be creative that way. So how I clarify with the personal deck is I clarify each line of cards. So I'm going to clarify your current or recent past to your near future, and then our connectors, and then our outcome. For those of you that are in relationships, you're in a really comfortable place in your relationship right now where you're feeling more settled, or you're coming to that. Those of you that have ended a relationship, whatever the length, are learning about your independence and what you really want in a partner. That's what I'm seeing. But a lot of you are, I feel like you're in pretty happy, content places. And a lot of you are searching for your soulmate. And I get a sense that some of you will meet a soulmate or a divine counterpart, especially with that Emperor or Empress. Some of you that is coming. Some of you that has ended. So you know your story. So yeah, you got the All by Myself by Eric Carmen. Now that is a twin flame card. So some of you are definitely dealing with your twin flame, which again, if you have done any research on twin flame, there's you are attracted and repelled to each other, but you are there to learn. You mirror each other, and you're supposed to learn lessons from each other. And oftentimes in your lifetime you don't get with your twin flame. Some people say you only have one. I tend to agree with that, but things are always up for debate and contemplation, right? The All by Myself by Eric Carmen card is talking about a necessary solitude or a forced isolation where you are healing. It's also about wanting our soulmate or craving that connection. But it also is a call to be more social with those who are close to you. You know, don't isolate too much, right? There's a healthy balance to isolation and being social. I get a couple more clarifiers. Thank you. So Aries energy, some of you may have been dealing with an Aries, and definitely see that with the Fool came out and the Emperor came out. This is the Diamond card. It's about fearlessness, so taking risks, a leap of faith, right? Relationships filled with love, faithfulness, innocence, purity, manifestation, abundance, and fortitude. So some of you are definitely manifesting, right? Let's get a couple more clarifiers for that line. So some of you were dealing with somebody that was a narcissist. This is the Humble by Kendrick Lamar card, and it says, sit down, bitch, be humble. It's about being confident, not arrogant, but I'm getting a sense that some of you were definitely dealing with someone who is a narcissist or an addict. And you know, and I'm not judging addiction. I am 5 years sober. And I also just quit smoking recently. So I'm, you know, I understand addiction, and my heart goes out to those who struggle with that, whether you are the addict or you have been dealing with one, right? It's a very, very challenging situation. But also, you all have the One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston card, which, if you don't know, but I'll tell you, is from the 1988 Olympics in Atlanta. And I love that album. I had it, which ages me, but I loved that album, and I sang the heck out of this song. This is about racing towards your destiny, okay? When you're more than you thought you could be. Your hard work pays off, right? Let's get another card for that top line, please, for our Virgos. Gave me a few. Okay, so be good. So some of you had a love song without the love. Sometimes this is best friend energy, so maybe it was a friend and it never got to that level, and there was some disappointment there. But it can be about, you know, taking a risk and it not paying off, right? This is a past energy, and a lot of you had shame and regret over that. It was an emotional risk gone wrong. Honesty turned to humiliation. So some of you have made an offer of love and it was refused in some way, or it could be the reverse, where you refused the offer of love. The heart chakra associated with the color green. This is the fourth chakra. I'm really just getting a sense that some of you have kind of closed off your heart and you're protecting it. The heart chakra is about unconditional love towards yourself as well. So be careful with the heart chakra. I would say work on opening it, because that's where our empathy is, and compassion and forgiveness, right? You also have the Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. So again, I'm getting another, you know, there may have been some addiction or obsessions going on. This is what's confusing you, is the nature of my game. So some people are not ready to change, and that doesn't mean that you have to live in that situation, right? It's kind of an unmasking of self, if you will. So inner child shadow work, that kind of stuff. So some of you are definitely stepping into Empress or Emperor energy with this Sit Still Look Pretty by Daya card. Call me HBIC, right? Divine Feminine, boss energy. Definitely some of you got promoted at work for sure. Or promoted, or maybe even started your own business within the last, you know, I would say 6 months or so, maybe longer. But let's clarify also this middle section. Ooh, that was a book. Let's... Moving on from disappointing situations for sure in this middle section, and really coming to know yourself is really what I see. And being comfortable with yourself. Being comfortable with who you are, which is a love like no other, let me tell you, when you step into that true loving who you are and liking who you are, right? Thank you, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and Angels. Can we please get some clarifiers for Virgo, please? So, yeah, some of you were definitely dealing with a narcissist. This is the Gangnam Style by Psy card. And it's somebody that thinks too highly of themselves or status. And that's definitely, it's about somebody, just thinking they're being on their high horse. But I get real narcissistic vibes from that card. So some of you, I think, we're definitely dealing with a narcissist, and that cycle is really difficult. So thank you, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and Angels. Can I please get some clarifiers for Virgo, please? Woo, got a lot. 46 and 2 by Tool. I definitely think that should go there. That's about the personal evolution, revolution. And remember, I said shadow work or inner child work. This 46 and 2 by Tool is kind of attributed to Jungian theory, so deep shadow work. But it's also about, it's self-growth. What is ahead of you? It's about transformation, stepping through my shadow, coming out the other side, stepping through my shadow. 46 and 2 ahead of me, right? 46 is how many chromosomes we have, and the idea is that at some point in evolution, humans will have 48, right? So, so Scorpio energy, some of you could very well have been dealing with the Scorpio. This is the Topaz card. It's about positivity and warmth, growth, calmness, wealth, and abundance. Definitely some of you are thinking about your future and creating wealth and abundance, like that idea of 10 of Pentacles. Passion and purpose, personal power, ambition, resolution, overcoming obstacles, and clarity. I attract that which I deserve from the universe. Definitely, you had the Wheel of Fortune there. This is a card about getting your karma. And some of you have really been healing, and so you have good karma coming to you. The person that you were dealing with, and you both, I think about you often at times I can't sleep, right? So that's both sides of this, though. I get that energy kind of all around. I also get a sense that there's somebody that I'm picking up that was in a relationship with it, is in some kind of ethical non-monogamy or polyamory, and there was a situation with someone that was very chaotic, and you had to kind of get them out of the constellation, if so to speak. But you also have divine counterparts around you. You do have soulmates around you. In My Life by the Beatles card. This is about big, healthy love, and you have it around you. Sometimes it feels too good to be true. Connect to spirit. You've been doing that. I can just feel it very strongly that you've been praying, meditating, and connecting to your spiritual path, right? It's different for a lot of us. We all kind of define that differently, but you've been connecting to your spiritual path. And crown chakra. It's definitely solidifying that connection to spirit. That's our 7th chakra. It's associated with the color violet. It's about transformation, energy and fire, angelic energy, gratitude, intuition. Let's get some cards for your outcome, Virgo. Ooh. All right, so Soul Star chakra, that's the 8th chakra. That is above our crown chakra, and it's about our soul's destiny, karmic blueprint, divine love, spiritual wisdom. It's a lot like it's also tapping into past lives. So some of you may be interested in looking at your Akashic records, and there are certain particular ways to do that. And I would say to research that. There's a lot of information online that you can find about Akashic records and how to do that. So somebody was afraid of being honest with you. I'm afraid of the truth. I'm afraid to be honest because they were afraid that you wouldn't accept them. And you're learning that, but it's also about you are afraid to face yourself. And you're doing that now. So here's your card, the Sapphire, Virgo energy. Wisdom, faithfulness, guarding against evil, loyalty, serenity, resistance to corruption, warding off of pain, natural energy in the mind and body. So some of you are feeling really energized lately as you're connecting to spirit and completing those karmic cycles. Say goodbye, don't follow. You are saying goodbye to old patterns. This is also a card about addiction, to do whatever to get me by. So you're walking away from toxic energies of all kinds. It's about going home, and home is not just where you live, right? Going home is an understanding and acceptance of self as well. So it's about facing issues and not hiding from them, right? At the bottom, you have the Capricorn energy card, the Garnet, glowing fire, bringing fire and warmth, stirring up the inner chi, regal, safe and tethered, emotional growth, strength and balance. I definitely feel that. And for some of you, you're definitely coming into a soul connection. Somebody is coming towards you. It's weak, so I feel like it's a little like it's not tomorrow, but completing that karmic cycle is definitely getting you closer to that soul connection. So I'm going to clear these. I'm going to pull some of my personal oracle for you. And then we will do runes and an animal totem. I just get some of you are kind of chilling, like you're really zen, but also focused and determined on a few things, like moving forward, and just a comfort with yourself. I'm getting a lot of contentment from Virgo. Contentment, but still focused and fiery, if that makes sense. Just comfortable with where you're at. So let's get some personal oracle advice for you, Virgo. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors. Let's get some advice for Virgo, please. Okay. All right, so obsessions and addictions, definitely that came up a few times in your read. Some of you dealing with that. Never be afraid to sit a while and think. And you're there. You're contemplating a lot. It just feel that in your read that you're really studying and thinking about the direction that you want to go. And you're carefully considering it, as a Virgo does. Learning as a result of listening. So you're learning. What does it matter how many lovers you have if none of them gives you the universe? You're really looking for a deep connection. It's not just about the physical connection to you. It's about truly connecting on a deep level, which makes sense for the Virgo. I mean, you all do that. You connect to people deeply. Deep emotion, you know, in an earth sign. I did it before, I can do it again. You've had to recreate yourself before. You've had to come back from some really difficult moments in your life. You've made it 100% of the time so far, so you can definitely do it again. Trauma is a fact of life. It does not, however, have to be a life sentence, right? And some of you that have experienced trauma, you know, it's why I bring up going to a therapist, because as helpful as a reading might be, being able to speak to someone where, look, a therapeutic relationship is the only relationship that you will ever have that is all about you, right? It's focused on you and your growth. There are some things you learn best in calm and some in storm. Change is one thing, acceptance is another. And you're very much in that place where you're changing things and accepting who you are. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? You all are really taking leaps of faith and getting out there and doing different things. I think that's really cool. So let's get an animal totem for you, Virgo, and then we'll get some runes. I really get a lot of transformation energy from you, but it's kind of like a quiet transformation. You're not like, you know, telling the world about it. You're just quietly doing it, just a little bit at a time. Like Pentacles move slowly, right? So you're taking your sweet time figuring it all out, which is, you know, real change comes, you know, in repeating and practice. So Virgo is very patient for sure. Okay, so you got two, so I'm going to read them both. Deer, instinctual energy, independence, and regeneration. And that definitely came up in your read. Graceful, swift, and elusive, the deer has symbolized the powers in nature that are not easily subdued. A deer's antlers, which are shed and regrown each year, are specifically associated with regeneration and renewal. A swift deer with golden antlers was sacred to the Greek goddess Artemis, whose realm encompassed the wilderness and instinctual, untamed things. A deer is also a symbol that summons individuals to a calling or journey. It has frequently appeared in legends and myths as a creature that lures a hunter or a knight into the wilderness. In the legend of King Arthur, a deer leads Sir Gawain into the wood to begin his adventures. I love that. That's really beautiful. And then you have Puma. And it says, power, desire, and healing. The puma, like the jaguar and the leopard, represent powerful magic. It also symbolizes an awakening of energies and desires that can lead to healing and fulfillment. Along with the other animals in the drawing, the puma is framed by a circle with 4 points, which forms a mandala, a mystic circular symbol that in Buddhist and Hindu traditions was used as an aid to meditation. The psychologist Carl G. Jung said that the mandala circumscribed a holy place, was a symbol of completeness with the inner psyche, and was a means towards greater self-awareness. He described the 4 points of the mandala to be like the crossed threads in the telescope of our understanding. So I'll give you a closer look at that of the animals surrounding the puma. Very cool for you, Virgo. Let's get some runes for you. I like to hold them away so I'm not peeking, right? So let's see what we've got. Oh, those are really good. You definitely have had some delays. But you are slow moving, Virgo, so it's not actually surprising. So you got Ing. And Ing, almost always a positive rune, it says, and only in the most negative of runecast does it even suggest failure. Indicates that the force is available to you at this time to complete any projects, and it shows a successful conclusion to the problem at hand. Represents a sense of relief that comes from a positive accomplishment. It can also merely indicate a mind free from anxiety. So if you've been experiencing a lot of anxiety lately, you're going to experience some relief from that. It's a very important rune and could signal an event which could prove to be a milestone in your life. Indicates the ending of an old phase of life to give birth to a new and more exciting one. Marks a time of positive energies and deliverance, and when turns up in your runecast, you may be assured of good fortune. It's a wonderful rune to get. So then you have Thurisaz. Let me get to Thurisaz. And it is reversed, so it indicates much the same thing as upright. Now, Thurisaz is like a thorn in the side, is how it's interpreted. But it's also representative of Mjolnir, which was the hammer of Thor. So you or the individual that you are reading for will not wish to heed advice and information offered. And so it's kind of a call to not be too stubborn about things and to really learn and listen, which you are in that phase. But you do have Hegel right after that, which tells me that you might get a delay in your movement forward by not taking advice, right? So do not blindly follow your own path is a suggestion, okay? Listen to other people. Listen to people that might be wiser than you. You are in a contemplative place right now, so you might feel threatened by somebody around you that you might perceive as a subordinate or weaker. But just be aware of not creating more problems for yourself, right? You have Ing there, so solutions are coming to you, however delayed they might feel. Hegel literally translates to hail. It's one of the runes of limitations and delays. There will be obstacles in your path, okay? Sometimes it comes up when you were thinking of taking some kind of risk or leap of faith, if you will. It showed up in your read. But it also says that it can mean an unexpected gain, especially with the positive rune like Ing there, okay? It can also mean that your future can be in the hands of others. And so if there's some kind of system that you're working within, things are going to be delayed because of that system that you are working within. And I don't mean just your job, but we are in all kinds of systems. Our family, our work, school, society itself, right? It's kind of like a faceless official is going to have some kind of, personal interest in you in some way and might cause the delay. So, it can also talk about a disruptive natural event, like an illness sometimes, but usually that's temporary. So it can signify an interruption rather than a disruption in a lot of cases. But you do not have any other delay runes, so I just think that it's kind of like the system itself is slowing you down in some way. But also, Virgos move slowly in a lot of cases, carefully considering things, and I think that that's a lot of that delay as you are learning about the direction that you want to go and learning yourself. So let's get some fairy dust oracle cards for you, Virgo. and see what the fairies have to tell us. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors, and our fairy friends. Let's get some cards for Virgo here. Seeing a white horse in my scrying bowl, if that might mean something to someone. It seems very particular. A white horse running, almost silvery white, like it might be running in moonlight. Definitely picking that up. So we have the green fairy. A cheeky green fairy on your behalf is appearing here to make you laugh. So it's an indication to have a sense of humor, right, through some of the delays that you might be experiencing. Ooh, okay, those really wanted to come out. Creative. Life is a canvas for you to use. Paint all the colors of happy moods. So in whatever ways you are creative, the fairies are saying get creative. And music. Fairies dance in the green hollow where the music plays, joy will follow. So some of you may be creative musically. But it's also kind of just this is kind of a sense of play. These three cards together, it's a sense of play and dance and singing. And you have fairy guides at the bottom. It says, whenever you are feeling blue, don't fear, the fairies are protecting you. So your spirit guides, angels, ancestors, fairy guides are there with you, protecting you and helping you along your path. All right, Virgo, that was your read. I want to say thank you so much to all of the new subscribers, all the likes and shares and the sweet comments that I've gotten. I truly do appreciate it. And so love and light to all of you. This is Lady Scarlett. I hope to see you again soon.